On Daniel, Chapter 1. Preface by the Most Holy Hippolytus, Bishop of Rome. As I wish to give an accurate account of the times of the captivity of the children of Israel in Babylon, and to discuss the prophecies contained in the visions of the blessed Daniel, as well as his manner of life from his boyhood in Babylon, I too shall proceed to bear my testimony to the holy and righteous man, a prophet and witness of Christ, who not only declared the visions of Nebuchadnezzar the king in those times, but also trained youths of like mind with himself, and raised up faithful witnesses in the world. He is born then in the time of the prophetic ministry of the blessed Jeremiah, and in the reign of Jehoiakim or Eliakim. Along with the other captives, he is carried off a prisoner to Babylon. Now there are born to the blessed Josiah these 5 sons: Jehoahaz, Eliakim, Johanan, Zedekiah or Jeconiah, and Sadum. And on his father's death, Jehoahaz is anointed as king by the people at the age of 23 years. Against him comes up Pharaoh Necho in the 3rd month of his reign, and he takes him, Jehoahaz, prisoner, and carries him into Egypt, and imposes tribute on the land to the extent of 100 talents of silver and 10 talents of gold. In his stead he sets up his brother Eliakim as king over the land, whose name also is changed to Jehoiakim, and who was then 11 years old. Against him came up Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and carries him off prisoner to Babylon, taking with him also some of the vessels of the house in Jerusalem. Thrown into prison as a friend of Pharaoh, and as one set up by him over the kingdom, he is released at length in the 37th year by evil Merodach, king of Babylon. And he cut his hair short, and was counselor to him, and ate at his table until the day that he died. On his removal, his son Jehoiakim reigns 3 years. And against him came up Nebuchadnezzar, and transports him and 10,000 of the men of his people to Babylon, and sets up in his stead his father's brother, whose name he changed also to Zedekiah. And after making agreement with him by oath and treaty, he returns to Babylon. This Zedekiah, after a reign of 11 years, revolted from him, and went over to Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And in the 10th year Nebuchadnezzar came against him from the land of the Chaldeans, and surrounded the city with a stockade, and environed it all round, and completely shut it up. In this way the larger number of them perished by famine, and others perished by the sword, and some were taken prisoners, and the city was burned with fire, and the temple and the wall were destroyed. And the army of the Chaldeans seized all the treasure that was found in the house of the Lord, and all the vessels of gold and silver, and all the brass. Nebuzaradan, chief of the slaughterers, stripped off and carried it to Babylon. And the army of the Chaldeans pursued Zedekiah himself, as he fled by night along with 700 men, and surprised him in Jericho, and brought him to the king of Babylon at Riblatha. And the king pronounced judgment upon him in wrath, because he had violated the oath of the Lord, and the agreement he had made with him. And he slew his sons before his face, and put out Zedekiah's eyes. And he cast him into chains of iron, and carried him to Babylon. And there he remained grinding at the mill until the day of his death. And when he died, they took his body and cast it behind the wall of Nineveh. In his case it fulfilled the prophecy of Jeremiah, saying, As I live, saith the Lord, though Jeconiah, son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, should come, the signet upon my right hand, yet will I pluck thee thence, and I will give thee into the hands of them that seek thy life, and of them whose face thou fearest, even into the hands of the Chaldeans. And I will cast thee out and thy mother that bare thee into a country where thou wast not born. There ye shall die. But to the land which they desire in their souls I will not send thee back, dishonoured as Jeconias, like an unserviceable vessel, of which there is no use, since he is cast out and expelled into a land which he knew not. O earth, hear the word of the Lord. Write this man, a man excommunicate, for no man of his seed shall prosper, grow up, sitting upon the throne of David, ruling any more in Judah. Thus the captivity in Babylon befell them after the exodus from Egypt, when the whole people then was transported, and the city made desolate, and the sanctuary destroyed, that the word of the Lord might be fulfilled, which he spake by the mouth of the prophet Jeremiah, saying, The sanctuary shall be desolate 70 years. Then we find that the blessed Daniel prophesied in Babylon, and appeared as the vindicator of Susanna.